Hey guys, it's your one and only Waka Waka Doctor here, bringing you the best of travel around the world. Thank you very much for always watching. If this is the first time you're coming across my video, this is where you want to be with respect to travel, and all you need to do is click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you can always get alerts whenever I post new videos. For those who've always watched me, you know how we do it. We give tips, we help you actualize your travel dreams. Irrespective of the country you want to move to, any country at all, via job opportunities, the career route of course, and through schooling opportunities, scholarships, there's probably a video that describes that country on my channel. Today I'm doing something quite different. I will be educating you as to why you're not getting that visa. There are several people who've applied for visas 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2 and I've got visa refusal. So today I'll be sharing 20, 30 reasons as to why you're not getting that visa. Stick with me, all right? Stick with me. I will explain in detail. Now, you know that, the stakes are incredibly high when it comes to application for student visas because a lot of things are hinging on it. The money you've spent, the stress, your future, your immediate and future life is hinging on this visa application. So many things, your plans with family and things like that. So it's, even though you get admission, the most critical stage is when you apply for a visa. And so that's why it's important. Now, there are several reasons, why people don't get it. And some say, oh, I've traveled to so and so, I've been to so and so, but yet I still don't get it. So that's why I'm making this video. Okay, now I'm not an immigration consultant, and this information I'm sharing is based off my own personal experience of having been to 60 different countries and lived and worked in 5 of them. So whatever I tell you here is based off success stories that I've gotten from people that I've helped. All right. Now, number one is your country of origin. Yes, whether you like it or not, your country of origin is important. And I'll tell you why. Someone who applies that is why when you're abroad and you apply for a visa elsewhere, you get it easy. So say for instance, you're in the UK you're living and working in the UK, applying for a US visa, your chances are very high. So if you're in an economically stable or politically stable country and you apply for a visa, your chances are high. But if you live in a country like Congo, in a country like Afghanistan, in a country like my country, your chances drop remarkably. That's one of the reasons, whether you like it or not. Number 2 reasons, I have them written down here. Number 2 is ties. You need to be able to show the strength of your ties to your home country. And that's where you have this popular question, who is your dad? Yes, you must be able to, if you're a 17-year-old who wants to go abroad, you definitely need a sponsor. And you have to show that you have strong ties. What does your father do? How does he get his money? It's important. If you're a 20-year-old to a 35-year-old, the way you're going to show proof of ties is also different. Are you married? Do you have a stable job? Do you have businesses? What's your career pathway like? Those are the things they consider, okay? If you are above 35, they also see, is this guy going to come back? So the visa officer wants to be sure of this thing before he gives you visa, so that's ties. I know that everybody wants to move abroad and never come back, but at that point, you need to prove to that person that you're going to go back to your country after you finish your program. So it's important you have this at the back of your mind, okay? Let me explain something I've written down here. For a 17 to 20-year-old first-time university applicant, okay, The consul will factor in that the applicant does not have traditional ties like spouse, children, property, or clear long-term plans. The person is 17 years old. So they will focus on the student's immediate intention of going to that country. Now it's different for a mid-career student who is 20 to 45. The consul will hone in on his current job, career stability, ambition, academic program, and the ability to complete that program. Now this is also different for a casual student who is just a housewife. They have to think about their long-term plan. So all these things are at the back of your mind. Now, number 3 is interview problems. Some countries, have interviews, and you have maybe 2-3 minutes to give a proper first impression. If your first impression is whack, you're not going to get it. Okay? Some people can't explain why they are going to that country. You can explain why you have chosen this academic program. Your English, you begin to stammer. You don't have that much time to convince the person. So if the person sees that, look, this guy is not confident enough, you could get refused. Believe it or not. Yeah, you can get refused. So you have to think about that. What are your plans after graduation? What does your dad do? They can ask you that. So I know that these are rambling questions. I know that they are troublesome questions, but you have to be very, very smart. No negative vibes, dress properly, very good body language, and boom, that could help you unlock the key to getting a visa. Another problem is if you've had a previous visa denial. Yeah, if you have a previous visa denial, you could be refused. So that's possible. All right. Another thing is inadequate documented finances. Okay. You cannot go to apply for a visa 2 days and three days ago, today is your visa interview. 3 days ago, you dumped 70,000 euros in your account. Oh, that doesn't make sense. There needs to be strategic inflow and outflow for them to know that you had this in mind, you were planning for this. So that's another reason why people are refused. Okay. Another reason, of course, is other documents. You don't have other documents there are documents you need to prove your admission or your job, sponsorship, your employment letter, your bank statements, your accommodation, flight itinerary, things like that need to be in place when you're applying for a visa. Another reason why visas are refused is suspicious source of funds. Suspicious source of funds, yeah. Where is your fund coming from? How did you raise this amount of money? They want to know. So it's important, and that's why I asked again, who is your daddy? Okay. Now another thing is social media. Some countries look at your social media. You apply for UK visa, but on your social media you abuse the Queen. You say the Queen is this, the Queen will not make it, the Queen is this, and you want them to give you, they will not give you. No way. Donald Trump was the president of the US. You applied for a US visa, but on your timeline on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you've mocked Donald Trump. Of course, they're not going to give you. And whether you like it or not, these people look at our social media accounts. Okay, so take note of that as well. Another thing is if you've had long-term bans, 5 years, 10 years, or criminal convictions in European countries or even civilized nations, it affects your next application. Okay, so you have to take note of that. Another thing is when you're applying for, you have an application form you need to fill. Some people fill it wrongly. Some spots on the form require you to, document properly, explain properly. But you have weak applications, you write weak stories. These are not accepted, and so your visa would be refused. Another thing is you made mistakes in your admission process or misrepresented yourself. Okay, let me tell you something. This one is just a joke. Imagine if you took a picture and you're black, then you use bleaching cream, bleach, and on the interview day you're white. That is misrepresentation, false representation of yourself. Two different people. So it's something similar. You've written something different on your application form and you're presenting something different. That would lead to a visa refusal. Okay? You're not documenting about your dependents while you have dependents. Okay? Being a terrible student, they look at your results, you're a bad student. You have pass. It's going to be difficult. Okay? Another thing they look at is, you have questionable contact person. They ask for contact people. The people you put on your contact list, they're probably unknown. That's a problem. Another problem is the school you choose. What is the name of the school? Are they known colleges? Some people choose unknown colleges, unregistered colleges. That would lead to a refusal. Okay? Another thing that causes refusals is, say for instance, you studied banking and finance. You want to do a master's in social care. What's the relationship? What's the relationship? That would lead to a problem. You studied nursing and then you want to do anthropology as your master's. That's going to cause a problem. So these are some of the reasons why visa refusals are usually very, very high. And of course, it's always important to say that, if you apply late, it's also a reason. And of course, luck. Sometimes it's just pure luck. You're unlucky, that's why you didn't get the visa applications. Okay? Make sure your applications are packaged well. Tell somebody to help you look it over and over and over again. And I hope that when you do all these things that I've highlighted in this video, you'll be able to get, your visa approved. I think the most important one for me is proof of ties. Economic ties to your home country, relationship ties, social ties, financial ties, proof of business, proof of marriage, proof of sponsor. Those things, you must have them. And I hope that this video helps you. Thank you very much for watching. It's your one and only Waka Waka Doctor. I wish you all the best. Cheers.